Our next two speakers, Massey and Lisa Skrypichayko. Is that better? Skrypichayko. The dynamic duo that have been partners in crime for many collaborative events in Busselton. Sans capes, could you please put your hands together for this amazing team, the two Lisas.
Yay.
Green button if you need it.
Green button if I need it. Okay. Good morning, everyone. We're the founding members of the Building Busselton town team. Hands up in the room if your name is Lisa.
There are
the others all
here
left.
today that I know of.
Anyway, if you're interested in coming to join us, your name does not have to be Lisa. It gets really confusing sometimes. Anyway, I'm Lisa Massey. This is Lisa Skrypichayko, or as some of my family members call it before they met Lisa, Lisa Scrappy Chicken. I've never told you that.
Thank
yeah,
you.
That's good. Yeah, now they know. We're a small team, but in the past 18 months, we have achieved a lot. Today, we want to tell you about a stunning project we've recently completed, its development, the process of pulling the project together, and its funding and implementation. So, we're just going to swap slide by slide. Your turn.
I'm talking about the history of our group. We started in October 2019 at a community workshop that was sponsored by the City of Busselton's Economic Development Team, and it was facilitated by the Town Team Movement. What we did was found out in our groups what Busselton meant to us, what do we value, and how do we express it. There were lots of ideas. We broke into little brainstorming groups. I bet most of you have somewhere along the way as well. And some of the projects that we came up with are still waiting to happen, but two from our very first meeting stuck and happened, so that was quite exciting. One of those was Sunrise in the Park Yoga, and I am going to be bad and look at my phone because I just found this link from the past. And one of our councillors said, "Who likes being wrong?" When we started planning this yoga in the park trial as part of the Building Busselton town team, I thought we'd get maybe 3 to 8 people. I thought it was worth a try if it was only to gather a few like-minded people together who might be able to come up with the next idea to try. I was wrong, and I'm very happy to admit it. We had about 100 people and had a frantic replanning how we're going to do all of this. Went on for 6 weeks with a very, very popular turnout on a Wednesday morning before work. So that's one thing that we've done. We also... Shortly after that finished, COVID hit, and of course, everything was locked down, everybody retreated and got depressed. And so what we wanted to do was cheer up the local businesses, and Lisa and me and Valerie, the yoga instructor, and I think there was
3. It's a very wet evening.
Yeah, it was a very wet evening. We snuck around town in our Gore-Tex like ninjas and put love letters on people's doors and wrote little chalk drawings on their things saying, "Thanks for being here."
Yeah, I love your coffee.
Yeah.
I come here every day type things.
Yes. We weren't very good ninjas. We were quite colorful, actually. But we still find some of those businesses have kept those little notes. So it made us feel better, and we know that it made them feel better too. We also set our sights on a larger plan to beautify the city.
Oh, over to me. Okay, lovely. Right, so local building owners and businesses have talked about activating a lane with alfresco and events for many, many years. We took a look at the laneways and we have in the centre of town, and whilst they're fairly crummy, we could see potential in beautifying one to get such initiatives off the ground. So we immediately thought of doing a mural. Murals are beautiful, aren't they? So we invited Holly Ogden, the seeded sunflower lady, down to Busselton, and she spent over one weekend, drawing sunflowers, painting sunflowers on a couple of shop windows and walls. Free, thank you, Holly. And it was received really well by the businesses and communities, so we set upon this idea of a mural. The location for the mural was discussed at length. We've got a couple of key lanes in Busselton, the town centre, but for reasons of achievability, we decided on the Kent Street laneway and a wall 42 metres long, the reject shop wall. I think we chose this one because we had a very supportive building owner in that who offered his wall to be beautified. We then went about gathering support from neighbouring building owners, businesses, the City of Busselton and various community groups who all supported bringing more activity in the centre of town. And they had to commit that support. They had to write us a letter of support that we could put up for funding applications and things. Funding. Over to Lisa.
Of course it needed money. There were many grants available to support recovery, so that was one positive from COVID. We were fortunate enough to obtain grants from the RACWA, from the City of Busselton, and also from the Regional Arts Fund WA, who generously donated quite a bit of the money that paid the artists and look after other expenses, of course, too. We had a few smaller donations from local business people as well, so that was very helpful. In the end, we almost got there. We needed a little bit more money to pay for the scissor lift and the scaffolding for our artists, and so we did sausage sizzles. Quintessential Australiana. And we were probably the first sausage sizzle back after COVID, too, so it was an experiment for Bunnings as well. We really deeply thank Jacquie Happ for her help in obtaining this funding. She's shaking her head, but she did an awful lot for us. She has a lot of networks of well-known and emerging artists, and these people had a wide range of styles, so that we were very pleased to get them on board. Your turn.
Yeah, okay, so describing the project. The project was in Kent Street Laneway. We made up the name because the lane didn't have a name. It's a public road access way, and shops, businesses, they back onto the lane, they park their cars along it, they place their bins in it, and deliveries arrive there. So as it turns out, it is a pretty busy lane. About 30 businesses use it. Busier than we thought we were getting. The reject shop wall, as I said, is 42 metres long and 5 metres high, and we decided on a series of 6 murals by 6 different local artists to cover the length of the wall, all referencing a theme, and the process of developing the themes that we had to do, Lisa's going to talk about next. It's all very well painting a wall, but a very important part of the project was to actually activate the laneway. So the project included a series of artist talks during the implementation where the community could attend short sessions presented by the artists themselves, and they talked about their artwork and the process they took in developing the themes into concepts and how they use spray paint and all that sort of stuff. We also held a community art workshop, and Geocache held a gardening workshop in the laneway, and we held a very special soft and wet project launch.
Okay, how we developed our themes for the murals. What we really desired was themes that the community could get behind and that they could be proud of. What makes Busselton special to you, we asked. We got feedback in a number of ways. We had a video competition online called Be Seen in Busso with the Busselton Chamber of Commerce and Industry and Loop 2 Digital helping. We had school writing projects. We got them on board, and the stories that the children wrote were beautiful. And some of them were submitted as letters to the editor, so they got a wider...
Year 9 age groups.
Yeah,
so, right,
it was
English students.
just magnificent. We did a lot of surveys, did our Survey Monkey. We had easels around town so people could stick stickers of what they thought they'd like to see or what was important to them. And also we got guidance from the City of Busselton's, I may have the name of the survey wrong, Vision Survey? It was, no, it's how we met a lot of the strategic objectives of the city.
Cultural interpretive.
Thank you, one of those.
Strategy.
We ticked all their boxes, that was wonderful. And we ticked a lot of people's boxes too, as far as what they wanted to see. People overwhelmingly, and not very surprisingly, loved the beaches, loved the ocean, loved the sea life, loved the jetty, and also loved our wonderful forests and our wetlands. We really found quite a nature-based backing from the public, so that's the way we went. And then we had a short, sharp learning curve.
Short, sharp learning curve. Yeah. Oh, there we are. Okay. Right. So our first problem was that our team wasn't incorporated. We had no insurance. We had no bank account to hold all our grant money, and we'd had a lot. But we were very fortunate that the Busselton Chamber of Commerce and Industry stepped in to auspice our group and take care of those things. That left us to get on with implementing the mural. Big thank you to Jacquie Happ, again, who oversaw contracting the artists and also scheduling their 3-week period for their work on site. And a lot of back and forth on the order of the concepts on the 42-metre wall. We learnt very quickly about scissor lifts, scaffolding, construction of scaffolding, particularly when some of the artists didn't know how to construct their scaffolding, despite having instructions, and working at height requirements. Who ever knew you'd needed that? So we need a traffic management plan. Like, seriously, it's in a laneway. So we are grateful to the City of Busselton, who prepared the traffic management plan and arranged for it to be put in place free of charge for Building Busselton. And then we had a lot of fun cleaning the wall. Nobody even suggested a wall had to be clean, and the wall owner wasn't going to do it himself either. So we had a lot of fun cleaning the wall, and actually planning this whole project, it took a lot out of us. And that Sunday morning cleaning the wall was quite cathartic and brought our team together in a good way in advance of the artwork, the project actually appearing on our wall. So
Dun, da, da, da.
there, that's a panorama. It's not a bent wall, it's a long wall. The octopus is in the middle, and you'll see another image. The possum and the wetland trees is up the end, and it starts with more jetty and the sort of coastal images. Yeah, there's our possum.
Hello, possum. Okay, sure. Communicate, or it never happened. You need to create a buzz and show off your project. So we went to the media, we had articles in local papers, we shared on Facebook and Instagram, we encouraged selfies and hashtagging Busselton Street Art, and we shared the artist tags and they shared ours. Artist talks in the Community Art Project were very, very popular, so that was great.
Oh, good, thank you.
You're welcome.
So during the implementation, one of our artists, Anita Revel, agreed to hold a community art workshop in the lane. It was a sunny Saturday morning, and we set up for participants to draw the designs, create stencils from x-rays, and then Anita supervised spray painting the designs onto her underneath the jetty mural. We had the RAC volunteers come down to help, and we needed them. We thought perhaps 20 people would come. We'd asked for registrations, didn't get many, but almost 80 people came throughout the morning. So Anita sure had her work cut out to make that mural look good after they all went home. Yeah, more input than she thought she was getting. We held a launch party for key stakeholders in the laneway. Unfortunately, we were rained out, the very first downpours of this season. We were not to know how reliable this season's forecasts were going to be. Luckily, we organised a full-page advertorial that you saw earlier in the local newspaper to acknowledge all partners and funders and announce the Mural project publicly. And when the mural was complete, Geocache held a 3-hour sustainable gardening workshop with Chris Ferreira in the laneway. It was very colourful. There it's there. We were sort of all backed up by these lovely murals in the laneway. It was attended by almost 60 people, and it attracted also a lot of interest from passers-by. It was a Saturday morning, and people would come down the lane just to find out what was happening. So, yeah.
Anyway.
Right. Anyway, quick follow-up.
Okay, we're wrapping this up. There was a little bit that still needed to be tidied up in the end. People's bins, people's cars still wanted to be on the side where the murals were, so Lisa gently persuaded them that they might like to move them. We needed to do acquittals for all of these grants. Thanks again to our big sister in town teams. And the 2 Lisas plus a Hal got our grunge on for an urban art interview with RACWA, so I think that's going to come around sometime. You can hear about it then. The last thing that is happening to promote our longevity is we are thinking about future laneway events there and also planning our phase 2 of the street art project. Any questions or talk to us later, I think might be the go, right? Talk to us later. Thank you.
Big round of applause for the races. And to the City of Busselton as a sponsor of the conference and also as an enabler for what happens